Hi friends, it's Julia. I'm here to share layout number 1 from my Counterfeit Kit Challenge kit for January 2021. I'm showing you all the stuff that I've pulled out to use along with the kit that I created. The kit was based on this Echo Park line called Christmas, and it has a very winter feel. And so that's why I pulled it together, because the inspiration kit also had a very winter feel. Here's a sketch I'm using. It is from Page Maps from January 2021. It is the double page layout there, so you can follow along with that over there. Because this was a limited paper kit, there were only 12 sheets of paper. One was a cut apart. There were two actually that were cut aparts, but I opted not to use the 4x6s. I'm using the 3x4s, and I'll use two 3x4 cards on here that I'm going to cut down. And I opted to pull in an additional paper pad, and it is a 6x6 paper pad from Echo Park called Warm and Cozy. It's one that I picked up at Tuesday morning several months ago, like in October or so. Anyway, it is a 2020 collection, and it goes really well with this Christmas line that I've pulled out. And so I'm going to be using a few pieces throughout, or one piece on this layout to add a border on. So here I'm just getting my photos cut down. You can see the two on the right. I have layered those up, and I'm going to get the rest of my photos cut down. I probably should have cut this part out. Sorry about that, guys. I haven't done a voiceover in a while, and this whole editing process is, it's a chore. I've been doing it where I show you the products that I'm going to pull, and then I'll take a break and come back and do basically a live and tell you what I've done on the layout, as opposed to trying to edit the entire process and do a voiceover and filming the entire process. The entire process took less than an hour, but by the time you film it all and get it all uploaded, and you have to go through and edit and try to cut out as many pauses as you can, it takes a while. And then to do the voiceover. And of course you miss things along the way, especially when you haven't been doing it very much recently. Here I'm choosing that red paper is going to be my background for the photo. And then I'll go, and you saw I tore up the photos and I changed the position. Y'all know a layout's not done till I'm tearing something off the page. I know it makes my sister nutty. She's like, when you put something down, why don't you just leave it where it's at? And I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do that. Yeah, I know it makes her nutty. So those two pieces there are actually going to be along the edges of that red paper. Rather than cut the whole piece apart, I wanted to salvage what paper I could. And so I just cut some very thin strips to go along those edges. I really wanted to use the back side of that green paper. It has tags all over it, and I just am kicking myself for cutting into it at all, because I want to cut those tags apart. But I know that if I cut the tags apart, I'm not going to have enough to complete all of the layouts that I want to complete. I've told myself, because this is a smaller kit, I'm going to put together 7 layouts with this kit. You can see that's the back side of one of the cut apart sheets, and the other cut apart sheet was actually on the introduction sheet to the kit, where it shows you all the different papers and stickers that are going to be in it. So, and here again, I could kick myself because I cut that just a little bit too wide. And I really needed the other side to go on. I needed a little bit more on the right side, or on the left side, than I did the left. But I'm going to make it work. It's all going to turn out in the end. I'm very pleased with the overall look of this layout. Of course, you know, when you start with the page map sketch, it does the hard part for you. It tells you where to put your paper positions and where to put your embellishment clusters. Now, I don't always follow along with the sketch. Sometimes I do. In this case, paper placement and photo placement, I followed along fairly closely, but the embellishment clusters, yeah, I varied a little bit. And so you can see I pulled out one of my punches. That's one of the things that I try to always do when I'm pulling a kit together. And I may not always show that process. I always try and show the stamps that I pull, but I don't always show the tool because I have come to the realization if I put it in with the kit and I need it for something else and that kit's on a shelf, then I forget all about it. And I don't want to go dig it out, or if I go and dig it out, then I forget to use it when I put the kit together. So it's hard to put those tools in, so I always try and pull one out whenever I pull a kit actually onto my desk and start working with it. Again, you see me pulling that up. I decided because I think the original sketch had another sheet of paper on there. I'm adding another one here. And that paper is very textured on both sides of it. It is a specialty paper, so it did take quite a bit of tape to get it to adhere down. And here's the point where I really wish I had, you know, used that little extra bit on this left side. And it's because I want to use that larger tag there. And so I need to make it work. I need a little extra room. But I manage it. I get it there. Part of it's hidden, but that's okay. Here I'm going to fussy cut this flower out, or this jar arrangement, and I'm not going to show you the whole process. Yeah, I go and do some detailed. I cut out quite a few minutes for, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes from just fussy cutting that. Yeah, and I'll fussy cut another one as well that's going to go on the opposite side, and you can see that one there. And it says, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And I want to put it there on top of the photos because there's a whole lot of people over in that background of the photo. It's in a lunchroom at my granddaughter's elementary school, and it was Christmas lunch for families. And so we were invited to come and eat lunch with her. And so my son and his wife and myself all went and had lunch with her. Well, that cafeteria was loaded with people, and so you couldn't get a background where there wasn't any people. And so, yeah, I wanted to cover some of that up. Granted, it didn't cover much of it up. And there, I added foam adhesive to the cutout pieces as well as this wreath that I'm going to get laid down here. And once I get that down, I'm going to add some additional embellishments, and we're pretty close to getting this wrapped up. It's just a matter of getting everything down like I want it. Those brads, I wondered when I first pulled them in if they were going to work, and they are a Bo Bunny brad, but they actually do because they are black and white are kind of the neutrals in this kit. Even though the paper that's on here are cream based, the stickers are white based. So it works out pretty good. So have you guys been over to the Counterfeit Kit Challenge blog or their Facebook group to see the other people's kits that they have pulled together? Oh my goodness, there are some amazing kits that you guys, if you haven't already seen them, you need to go see them. Oh my goodness. I am partial to the Counterfeit Kit Challenge group. I've been following along with them probably back when they started it, and that's been like a gajillion years ago. I think it was back in the 2Ps days when they actually started it, or right at the tail end of the 2Ps days. It's been going on for years, and so I've been playing along for years. You can see that that tape had a very large white border on it, and so I just trimmed it down and put it on stuck it down to my trimmer and just trimmed that extra white space off. And it's not as noticeable as you think it would be. It looks pretty good. And for the life of me, I couldn't get my scissors under there. So then I grabbed my straight edge razor and I tried to cut it, and of course I pulled it as opposed to cut it. Initially, it took it a second to get it going. Anyway, though, I love to go over to the Counterfeit kit and pull together kits based on the inspiration that they provide. And I have learned so much over the years watching others pull kits. When I first started pulling my own kits together, y'all, they were so huge. Oh my goodness. But then I had a lot more free time than, necessarily what I have now. And I would work on a kit and I would have it done by the end of the month. And I'm telling you, I would make, dozens of layouts, upwards to 15 to 20 layouts every month from that original kit that I put together. Well, over the course of time, I have learned that as my time has been required other places, like full-time employment, not that I wasn't full-time employed then, my hours were different. I worked 3 12-hour shifts a week, and so that gave me, 4 days to play around. And then I grouped my days together, so I worked 6 days in a row and had 8 days off every other week. So that worked out beautifully for my scrapping habit. So, yeah, I don't have that kind of time now. I work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and I take call occasionally on the weekends, which means if I'm taking call, it means I'm working. So anywho, I don't have nearly enough time to scrapbook anymore. I'm ready to retire and have a life of a full-time scrapbooker. But then, of course, I would have to cut back on my spending, so kind of in a catch-22. Anywho, so I'm getting some of these stickers laid down on the layout from the sticker sheet. I'm just looking at the little tiny ones. And just kind of scattering them around the layout. I'm going to add some embellishment as far as sequins and some bling here in just a minute, and that's when you always know that I'm at the end of a layout. But I did decide that I wanted to add some wood veneer. So I put a wood veneer in the center of that wreath, and it is a tree wood veneer, and then I had one over on that other embellishment, but it was kind of small, so I just go in for a larger one, and I'm going to put that down over there and call it good. And I used, rather than get any adhesive out, because I've just finished up 2 of my wet adhesives, and I'm left with glue dots right now until I pull out some more wet adhesive. Yeah. So there, I took a little piece of that card where I fussy cut out, and I am putting it, punched it out with a tab punch, and I'm going to use it up on the top to put the date. And then my layout will be complete. I've put the sequins down, I'm putting the date on, the information as far as school. That will come later when it's not on YouTube. Anyway, I appreciate you guys being here, and to all of my new subscribers, I appreciate you guys subscribing and watching my videos. To all that have been here for many years, I appreciate you guys. You guys are my mainstay, and I really do love and appreciate you guys so much. Anyway, guys, here's the close-ups, and I will see you on the next layout. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.